provided. Well, if any name comes to your mind, please feel free to put it there. But it represents immutability, decentralization, freedom of speech, about tech awareness, trust, freedom of expression, and around those areas. It is a blockchain-based platform to share.
Sorry to interrupt. Um, there's a bit of kind of background noise,
Is it
um,
okay?
and just it's just affecting just the clarity, and I'm
Yeah.
not sure if there's a way to block that off a little bit.
How's it now?
Yeah, that's much better. Thank you.
So it's a blockchain-based platform to share and view immutable messages or data. Immutable meaning they cannot be changed once they are set in time. So art plays a very important role in as a means of activism. We have seen several kinds of art. Some are more subtle forms of it, which kind of express towards the freedom of speech and some um, environmental issues. Then we have also seen some more aggressive art movements. Art also, it's a very useful tool to spread awareness about certain things, and that also sits true for technological innovations. So coming to the problem, we have started to see a lot of media blockouts, and in a lot of cases, censorship is a great tool to stop unethical activities. But however, the question arises, who decides this line of what's the right opinion and what is not? Now, a higher number of systems are used to manipulate and corrupt, and in some cases, suppress the opinions, freedom of speech, and right to information. We are seeing media blackouts. We are seeing countries banning online content. We are seeing cover-ups, which has caused major pandemics, and we also have news of splitting the internet. Imagine waking up one day and realizing you don't have internet or you don't have access to a part of internet. It'll be difficult. So technological innovation always, in most of the time, it always reforms and moves towards betterment of the world. So in this case, decentralization technological systems are seems to be right now as next phases, and these things often doesn't come up in the mainstream because because they are censored, and when it comes to mainstream, either it's too long, it's too late, or it's already happened and you'll never know about it. So blockchains as systems without borders, we are seeing the story which made a huge industry impact. So there was this girl Julio, and she was trying to file a complaint on the authorities, and it was some malfeasance on behalf of her university. She tried to post it on several Chinese social media platforms, and the post was taken down. Then she used Ethereum blockchain, in which kind of she embedded her message in the blockchain data and she sent it out, which went to the whole world, and it became one of the first major stories in the blockchain industry, which showcased this event as a use of decentralized system and why we need it. However, on further research, I saw this girl disappeared. So that's, yeah. Some of the related works in blockchain-based art and games. Blockchain industry is still very new, and arts and games are still being explored in the area. One of the closely related works I would like to highlight is Cryptographicinfo. It has a similar idea of embedding messages on the chain, and it reads live messages. We can see people wishing happy birthday. We can see people expressing love. We can even see files. People are sending files. And because the message becomes immutable and it cannot be changed, it holds much more value than sharing it on Facebook. It's like marking something in a stone, which creates a forever memory. Bringing to my project art installation or a game, it's it's a platform to share and view immutable messages. It's more like right now it's more like a data visualization thing for the blockchain of Ethereum. The blockchains work on hex inputs, which look something like this, and this is the base form of computer data, computer code. So it can contain anything, including text, pictures, data, files, and not only messages. We can use this platform to timestamp patents, to timestamp research paper. We can use it to link artworks with the blockchain. So there's only one like digital artwork with the blockchain. So people, if someone copies, people will know it's a copy and the original sits on the blockchain. So I'll jump to Unity now and I'll show a live demo. We are currently reading it from Ethereum mainnet, Ethereum blockchain, and just gotta wait a few seconds before it connects. So here I'm using the address from the famous story, which I shared, and we can see the was list to the number of messages. This particular address has about 54 messages. This is the story from the Chinese media outlet. And we have controls over here. You can move around, you can zoom in, WASD, you can even scroll to zoom in, and you can click and view messages. And this is also another thing I found, that the transaction was even banned from seeing on WeChat and Weibo, which is great and interesting. And we can switch to a fly cam, which is a dragon, and it's a better form of just exploring around and seeing. One of the future ideas is that you can go inside the wars, inside the pyramid, and there'll be collaborative community arts here, which I'll further elaborate on in next slides. This is the basic structure of how the transaction or sending a message works. You basically take any Ethereum supported wallet and you embed your transaction with a message of whatever you want. The message is immutable, it's uncensorable, it cannot be changed even by you who created the message or even by any of the developers. And it will stay on internet forever because it's decentralized. One entity doesn't hold that message. Thousands and thousands of people does in their computers. And the blockchain also has Ringkebby testnet. I can elaborate this on in the end if we have more time. And you send it to art address and it basically spawns a block in real time, and you can explore and view messages. And you can even find ways to connect somehow on a single chain of open shared messages. And there are lots of creative ways to do it, embed data and stuff like that. So hosting, it's also, I'm planning to host it on unstoppable domains, which is domains on blockchains. So currently how domains work is some entity or holds your domain data, and you have to renew every year to continue to keep using it. But unstoppable domain, it offers domains on blockchain. So that's another layer of uncensorability and non-custodianship. And further, IPFS, which stands for Interplanetary File System, fairly new technology, and it is empowering decentralized internet. So the thing we are hearing about internet splitting into different parts, it can be tackled through it, and it is great. It has great implementation with blockchains, where you can store data on blockchains, but because the amount of transaction fees is directly correlated to the size of data, you can store it in a decentralized form, and you can link it to the blockchain and without actually storing the data, but just linking the parameters through it. So some of the future versions of the installation, as I was talking about inside the verse, is an open collaborative community world, and it exists and it covers the whole spectrum of existence of Earth, basically lava, terrain, underwater, Earth, space. And the idea is that it can evolve with the message blockchain in a collaborative way and community way, which is also one of the fundamentals which revolves around blockchains, which is open source and collaboration. So call to artists, if you have any work, if you have any 3D works or 2D works, you would like to put it in Unity and be a part of this installation, message me and we can do this forever. The chain will keep expanding forever and it will stay on internet forever. I can see this projected as an installation in Expose. It also holds a very important value in terms of immutability, but most importantly, I would love to see it to make it to people's home to share. And in those extreme situations where people are unable to put their word out and regain their freedom of speech. The pipeline of the project has also enabled some of the very, very, very useful tools for live data visualizations for blockchains, which is very much in demand in future. So that's me. If you have any works, send it through here and you can contact me on these links. And if we have more time, I can actually show a live transaction of how it works.
Thanks, Sahaj. Are you going to show it?
Yeah, if you have time. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Give me 2 minutes. So I'm just changing it to Ringkb testnet. So I understand that because blockchains, so we do require the transaction fees and it does cost real money, which makes things complicated. But we do not need to send real Ethereum to actually send a message. So we have a Ringkb testnet, which is basically a testnet for Ethereum, and you can get free Ethereum to test. So how it works is you select any of your blockchain wallet. And for this one, I'm using MetaMask and I've selected Ringkb testnet. But it's important to note testnets are testnets for a reason. They do not offer a full form of immutability. So we'll have two versions of the installation. One is a testnet version just to test out and get people, spread the awareness, get people to use the system, get more familiar with it. And one more mainnet version, which we plan to expand in further in the future, and which is the main immutable installations. So Ringkb faucet, you just put in your address over here, and you can get free Ethereum. Ringkb Ethereum, it doesn't hold any value. It's a testnet, and we can send it. So blockchains work on hex, and we cannot directly put a message over in the message field. We have to convert it to hex code. So here I'm using string to hex converter. Now, some of the wallets do this automatically for you, like etherscan.io, which is an Ethereum wallet. It has an option for sign transaction, and it does this step automatically for you. But because right now we are using MetaMask, we have to do it on our own. So we write our string, and this is the hex code we have. If you have anything you would like to write in an immutable form, say now. And we have to add 0x in the starting of x. So we choose the art installation address, which in this case is this address, and we put a hex code over here. We do not need to send any money to send a message, so that's 0. And that's our transaction fee, which is relative to the length of your data. And we send it. So we can see test 45 OK. And we just have to wait a few minutes for this transaction. It's also a testnet, and it's confirmed over here.
Sahaj, at the moment, are all the messages together? Like you have to scroll down to the bottom to see the most recent message?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the chat window
Yeah.
where you can see all the messages, and
Like,
then
can you select individual ones?
yes, so you can click on the blocks and you can open the full message.
Yeah.
And the blocks also embed your message. So these blocks doesn't have anything. If your message is there, it shows on the block.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't see the last message we sent, which makes me think I sent it to wrong address, maybe. I still have to work these things out. Once it's set on a domain, you won't have to go through addresses like this. It'll be more like digitalscriptures.crypto, and you just send it through, and that should work.
Yeah. Sahaj, I mean, obviously we spoke quite a bit yesterday, so I probably won't kind of go through those things now again. But I suppose one thing I wanted to ask you about is obviously this data can be communicated in lots of different ways. The idea of this sort of diamond shape and the way that these blocks are sort of are situated in this space. Can you talk a little bit about how the this actual sort of environment contributes to the experience or to the idea, I suppose? I mean, it sounds an obvious thing, but obviously, for example, this could be communicated as a a traditional forum, but having it in this form, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yep.
Is this particular form the direction that you're going in, or is it just because you are, obviously you've been engaged with getting it technically functioning and working out how it actually operates? Yeah.
Well, this is the kind of base of the form I'm going with. The pyramid is actually the logo of Ethereum network, which I have built it on. And so this is the logo of the network, Ethereum blockchain. And the chain is basically, it's just like an abstract form of representing a chain which is linked to each other. And the idea is here is that as it will keep expanding forever, the words will also keep lifting up with it, and it will also keep expanding outwards. So it creates more and more space inside the words. So if it gains more of people and more interactivity, it expands and there's more room to collaborate and create stuff inside the verse, if we go that way in future. And the idea here can be different ideas. Like one of the ideas, as soon as you enter, you spawn as a player, and then there's just a multiplayer world where you can chat, you can talk, you can collaborate, play some mini games and stuff like that, or an exploratory environment where people can build and collaborate artworks of their own.
Sahaj, that's a whole other world project.
Yeah, that's a possible future thought, very likely. If yeah.
It probably doesn't need, to be honest, it probably doesn't need that component to it.
Yeah, that's like GTA 5 from GTA Vice City.
Does anyone have any questions or comments for Sahar?
Saji, do you like the name I make for you? I think for you.
Is it the dragon? Oh, free will text, your free will. Dragon text, dragon freedom. Dragon freedom, maybe.
But I like
Chain the world. That's totally opposite of what it stands for.
Unchain the world.
unchain the world.
Sahaj, I would think about using that Ethereum symbol. You know, it's kind of, yeah, I mean, if you were to expand this project and actually develop it further, I would spend a little bit of time thinking about how this world is, and you know, really consider how you can sort of reinforce some of the concepts of it through the design of it. I mean, yeah, I think when those moments where I think you sort of you know, need to step out of the project, maybe just sort of sketch out some potential concepts for that, because I still think that's the thing that, I mean, it's great, and it's a really interesting area, and I think, as we talked about yesterday, you know, it's certainly an area of interest, and it's you know, certainly you know, an area where you could, once the project is developed further, obviously, you know, reflect and write about this work, but it's still kind of early days. Like, there's still a bit of thinking to do around it, but it's great that you've got, you know, I suppose the pipeline for these messages, and you know, and yeah, there's, as I said, and as we talked about yesterday, there's great potential to, I think, share it in a number of different kinds of contexts, but there's still, you know, of course, you know, a lot more thinking and work to do.
Yes.
But I think, you know, given I again, I know this is your last course here, but if it is a project that you do want to work on, you know, then we can sort of keep in touch and kind of help develop it. And obviously, you know, Chris would be very interested in seeing the sort of outcomes as well.
Yep, that'd be great. But just to add on that, I was looking at the Ethereum logo and meanings behind it. So there are these metaphysical talks of how it's an octahedron, and it basically stood for an inverted symbol of so the old logo was a computer expression. I forgot the exact name of it, which is something like this, like two pyramids inverted, and then it was converted to this. And there's also these talks that how octahedrons, it represents an open community, it represents love, light, and all that kind of things. Personally, I also think pyramids, it's somewhat as a mystery thing. So the idea would be that, well, it's a mystery what's inside it, and if you go inside and just maybe bump in, you will find a whole other world. That
Yep.
was, I think, just initial conceptual thoughts, but yeah, it's still a work in progress, and I don't know how it'll expand in future. We'll see.
Yeah, I completely understand, that idea of the mystery and pyramids. I just think in terms of if it's a critical project examining these sort of ideas, it's just probably not great to attach it to a particular, that particular, to recognize it as that particular logo or as that particular company. But
Right. Well,
yeah,
it's a decentralized protocol, but yeah, I understand.
I because I would take just almost just a step back from it. But you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much, Sahaj. And as I said, if you want to keep in touch on the
Yes.
project, and it would be great to see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, I think it's at a stage where I can host it with a particularly tight address, in this form, not the GTFI version, which kind of provides a platform for people to share. And then once it's up, I would like to send it to Expose and maybe write a paper around it and send it to cultural expos, political expos, blockchain expos, festivals, and just spread the awareness.
Yeah. I
So I'll
think
be looking at that.
yeah. I think I mean you could definitely do that in terms of as a preliminary paper on as a sort of I suppose staking a claim in that area with your initial motivations around it. But I think, as we talked about yesterday, more thinking around the audience and the community, what would draw people into viewing the messages, and also contributing messages. There's a whole this still some sort of questions around that.
Yeah.
And it would be actually, I mean, like a lot of the projects, there's probably multiple. As each version is developed, there's multiple probably ways of reflecting on that, and sharing that knowledge. So once a community or once an audience interacts with the work, then that's a whole different experience, and there's a lot of learning around that. But yeah, I mean, we can, obviously, as I said, keep in touch about it, and try and maybe talk to Chris as well when you get a chance.
That'll be great. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Sahaj. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Rita.
Yes, I'm here.